medical issues that I'm trying desperately to resolve. In fact, at some point, I think I need to do a post on retirement, getting old, and what that means, because there are many people who watch my channel who are probably in a very similar position to my own. But today, I'm going to talk about the US election and just remind us that what are we actually waiting for? So if I'm really honest, which I try to be, I I am getting so tired of the continual bombardment, even here in Australia, in relation to the election in the US. And I've been asking myself the question, what would the world look like if the US wasn't the supposed dynamic power that they are, if they didn't wield the authority and the military force that they do? How different would the world be, and could we survive without them? That is, could the rest of us, the world, Australia, New Zealand, Asia, Europe, Great Britain, who are no longer part of Europe, but could we all survive without the United States? Would we be a better place if we could? And for me, the answer is yes. And the important part of all of this, I think, is then how relevant is this coming election? Now, everybody who watches my channel will know my biases, and they certainly are not in favour of Donald Trump, who I still believe is one of the most revolting human beings on this planet. But nevertheless, it is true that if Trump gets in, the rest of the world will start to panic, because it will mean that the status quo will change somewhat. Russia will be favoured over other countries. North Korea will probably be even favoured. What actually will happen? Now, and why is this changing? Why is it that it is even an issue that Donald Trump may win this coming election? I find it hard to believe. You know, like when you see somebody and you get a sense as to who they are by the simple things they say and do, then clearly one can develop an impression of that person that may make you think, well, this person is not fit for the particular job that they're applying for. I mean, if you ever hire somebody and you can see in their resume what they've done, and you contact people that they've worked with, and you find that they're not the person that they say they might be on their resume, well, clearly they're not going to be hired. And Donald Trump kind of fits into that category. His behaviour, his language, the way he talks about other people should indicate to all of us that he's not the sort of person that should be in control of the arsenal of weapons that he is, and have the global clout that someone like the President of the United States should have. Now, I'm not specifically a fan of Kamala Harris either, but she is, in my view, a better alternative than Trump. I'm not in favour of the American system. Their electoral system just sucks. It is the worst sense of democracy that one could ever imagine, where just the popular vote is basically non-existent and doesn't really matter. If you live and vote in California, the largest centre in the United States, should that vote matter? Yes, of course it should matter, because a lot of people live there. It's an important economy to the US. So does it matter? Well, actually, no, it doesn't at the end of the day, because there's these 5 or 6 states that are going to sway this election one way or the other because of the Electoral College. It's just a bizarre system. Who knows why in the world they thought of it in the first place, because it doesn't work today, and that needs to change. So the popular vote means bugger all, and therefore, is this a true democracy? Well, the reality is, I don't believe that it is. Now, why is there a shift happening? This is the question I was asking myself. Is there a shift happening in the United States that will determine the way people will vote in the future? Forget the popular vote. Just think about the Electoral College and those red, blue states, whatever, that will determine this election. So who are the people that are likely to make a significant change in this area? And I came upon an article, and I'll just read a paragraph from this article because it does tell us, I think, a little bit about who those people are. And this is the changing demographic in relation to young people. Now, us older people, such as myself, are simply dying out. And young people will be taking over. There'll be more of them than there will people over the age of 55. So they will be the ones that will determine what happens during elections. And the question for me also is, who's paying any attention? Are these people paying attention to actually what's happening? Well, I don't believe that many of them are. But the article that I wanted to refer to is this one. So it's from the City Journal, whatever that might be. Polling from the Chicago Council on Public Affairs, which I guess is where the City Journal is from, released in 2018, reveals that generational shift, as I was discussing, will probably be the key issue here. It found that 70% of baby boomers, my generation, believed it was best for the US to take an active role in the world, but only 51% of millennials agreed. These attitudes may reflect a more negative view of the US in general. When asked whether the US is the greatest country in the world, a subject, a topic, a language, which I actually think is revolting, because you're not, or no greater than any other nations, which I would tend to agree with, 72% of baby boomers said it was the greatest country in the world, while just 50% of millennials agreed. This split was found in every major area of the Council survey. Millennials were much less supportive of US global leadership. And I think that is significant, is that young people no longer see the United States in the same way that older people have, that it is not the greatest country on the earth, probably never has been, but has certainly marketed itself as such. Simply because you have the largest military force in the world and you have a population of over 350 million that buys a lot of crap, doesn't necessarily mean that you're the greatest country on earth. It doesn't mean that you're a moral country. It doesn't mean that you have standards and principles that are superior to or above those values and principles of other countries. But what it does mean is that people like Donald Trump will be voted in based on that older cohort. Those people that do not read, those people that are uneducated, those people that are probably white and uneducated, those people who disengage with the system generally and who have this moment, this last moment where they can actually start to celebrate what they believe is the greatness of the United States. I personally don't believe that that exists, but there are lots of people out there who do. I'd be interested to know what you think, whether or not the demographics is such that this will change, that maybe this will be the last opportunity that someone like Trump will ever have of getting into power, or whether or not we think it might have changed significantly right now, so that enough people become aware that you are not the greatest nation on the earth and that you are no greater than any other nation. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. In the meantime, take care, look after yourselves, and more importantly, keep yourself and the people that you love safe.